Multimedia personality, comedic commentator, songwriter, recording artist, spiritual leader, and actor. Catch Larry Reid on the BET Plus original series Kingdom Business and on American Gangsta Trap Queens. Streaming online at BET.plus.
Church folk, they having sex, but they don't have nobody to talk to them about it. I have special guests and sex experts. The live feature is now working on my OnlyFans account. You need to sign up. Go to onlyfans.com/Larry Reid Live. Now, I'm not responsible for the other stuff y'all gonna go out there and try to start doing. That is not my business. But my job is to keep the conversation going with you on OnlyFans exclusively. It's gonna be good. Larry Reid Live coming to OnlyFans. Sign up tonight.
Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the bell. Text Larry Reid Live to 33222. That's the words Larry Reid Live, no spaces, to 33222. And get notified when we go live. Become a member of Patreon. Log on to patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Sign up, then download the Patreon app and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
We're about to have a conversation. Hello, how are you? Today's date is December the 30th of 2022. My name is Larry Reid, and I'm the host of Larry Reid Live, your most favorite digital entertainment news and talk show that is out here on the social media streets. Take a moment right now and hit like and hit share and let everybody know that you're watching Larry Live. And when you hit like and share, it lets those that follow the page on Facebook and YouTube know that I'm live. It gives us a greater chance of being able to show up on their news feed. And so I need your help in order to do that. All right, I'm not going to stay here long because it is 12:15 a.m. here on the Eastern Shore. But I have some stuff I want to talk to you guys about. I went live on IG today and I was talking over there and I said, when I get that nudge or that unction, I'm going to come over here and share on Larry Live some of the things I've been sharing in Patreon since spring of 2022. If you've been following this platform for a long time, it was this platform in 2015 that began to share about the year 2020, how the church was going to be changing forever. In your opinion, do you think that the church has changed forever? It absolutely positively has. And I told them, in addition to that, that they needed to build in cyberspace. I've done a write-up about cyber churches. If you type in WordPress cyber churches Larry Reid, it should come up where you're able to read it. Then there were so many things that went on between 2015 and 2020 where we received like an inspiration about what was going to be happening. I saw a crack that went from where I was standing, I was getting out of the shower, and went all the way up to Washington, D.C., through the Capitol and through the White House. And I began to share how there would be a split at the top. So to me, I said I felt as though this was the parties. I also began to share some other things about concerns about Russia, the ships, and I began to call the numbers that I had saw and the significance of them. In that same video, I talked about Southwest Airlines. That was in 2017. And I said they needed to upgrade, inspect all of their planes, particularly their cargo planes. Now, if you saw all of that, put it in the chat, said, yes, you did. I was there. I heard it. Then in February of 2020, I began to share. I was looking at CNN, which my TV just naturally comes on CNN. And they mentioned COVID. And they were saying how, it was over there in China. And I went live. I made a post first, and I said that COVID was going to come here. We're going to be in mass. It's airborne, but those on TV will lie to us and say that it's not. That was February. So this platform, and there's so many other things, this platform has been like the vehicle through which, as relates to the future, it has been revealed over and over and over and over and over so many times where you say, okay, this can't be a guess. This is just not coincidence. Some people say a broken clock is right 2 times a day. No. So you can't even say that about a platform. You can downright hate me, but you can't. I mean, you can't just throw away what has been said and the impact that this platform has made. It's made a major impact, not just in the church, but in the world and in the entertainment industry. So I want to share with you a few things. I ain't gonna stay here long unless y'all drag it out, that I've been sharing in Patreon. I said, let me share some of this publicly. And if you're a patron in the chat, let them know that you are a patron in the chat. Just a few things I think it's important to know. In December 2020, I received an inspiration about the year 2021 and 2022. I shared it December 2020. If you're in Patreon, you can go back to December 2020 and see the write-up. It was so exact and particular about the things that I had saw that was to come. Now, let me tell you about me. The way my thing worked, my mama is a feel and see prophetic. Mine is a see and taste sometimes. My mentor, he's a hear. His wife is a feel, meaning the way through which the spirit world communicates to you and how information comes. And then you're left with the job of interpreting. Some prophets, their angels are tied to their assignment, may talk to them. And there's so many different ways. Mine is see, and then I have to figure it out. And many times it is literally seeing and say, okay, now Lord, what is this I see and what does this mean? So I felt like, I said, let me go ahead and share. Usually I wait till I share on Patreon before, then as the first few months of that new year come in, then I share with y'all what I shared in Patreon. And I'll be thinking, I said, some people probably thinking I was waiting for the year to come in. So I said, let me go ahead and do this before. So this is what the year, now many prophets and many different people are going to be saying many different things, but I want you to know what has been shared in my Patreon. And you should also consider becoming a part of Patreon, because we do a whole lot over there in Patreon, and it's empowering and educational. That's what my Patreon is all about. When I first started it, I would put my receipts over there when I would do stories, and I said, I seen it by you lying. I said, no, I'll put it online, and then my page will get blocked and taken down. So I put everything over there in Patreon. So you should make a decision. Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Live, especially for this year 2023. So as I began to receive some communication about 2023, the year 2024 kept coming up strong. I said, man, this is happening again like it happened December 2020. Because December 2020 is when I got all of this stuff for 21 and 22. And so I'm going to share some of that with you here. The first thing that began to come to me, because it was it's not the first thing. The main thing began to come to me in November as we were coming into, I'm about to get a blunt right now. as we were coming into December, the Spirit said this to me, and I told the patrons. So we was already 30 days in, but I'm going to show you what I told the patrons. I said, the Spirit says that December, that the Spirit named December Decision December. Everybody type Decision December. And there's still another little over 24 hours left. So this may be impactful for somebody that is listening to me that maybe felt like they were a little dizzy or scattered in December. So the Spirit said this to me and said the Spirit named December Decision December. And so I sat with that full of peace. So okay, now what does it mean? And it says, oh, let me just find it so I can quote it word for word so I don't be here telling no lie. Let me sure I'll go ahead and find it. So we know word for word. Okay, yeah. So the Spirit said that this month, December, is Decision December. It said, and whatever you decide shall abide. Can y'all type that in there? Whatever I decide shall abide. Now, if I'm sharing this on the 30th day, that means there is absolutely somebody that's going to come across this video either now or the next few hours who I'm talking directly to. Because the days are already gone, so somebody needs to make this adjustment before 2023. It said, whatever you decide shall abide. And then the Spirit says, make a decision. Say it like this, decide to divine. So I've sat with it. I'm like, okay, decide to divine. And I began to understand that the Spirit was literally telling me to tell everybody else to begin to get a mental picture about the future, not just whatever they think up on their mind, but what enters their mind, what enters their heart. I believe every dream that we have has literally been downloaded into us to dream it. The dream that we have for ourselves is really the dream that God is dreaming about us, and He's having this dream and want to manifest this way through us. And so I begin to tell the people the importance of spending time in the Spirit with the divine, picturing, and then speaking certain words and doing certain behaviors that will literally bring that thing to manifestation. And then the Spirit began to talk to us about distraction. Okay, everybody put distraction, the word distraction, in the chat. And this was happening live on the phone line. Now, if you sign up for Patreon, all of our prayer sessions are saved. So you can hit the Dropbox link and listen. And you hear me on that call. It'll be first thing in the morning on Sunday. I said, wait a minute, y'all, give me a minute. I got to figure this out. And the Spirit said that it's a person that is a distraction. And said to get rid of the distraction, cut the tie. Now, listen to me. If I'm saying this on December the 30th, then that means somebody going to come in here and watch this, and it's going to prick in their heart that they are paired, dating, flirting with, laying with, frooking someone that is toxic to your destiny, and that they're holding the energy of distraction in you in such a way to where you're not even discerning time and season. You know, in order for you to have a proper crop and a proper harvest, you have to understand weather patterns. You have to know when to fertilize. I worked in tobacco. I'm from the country. So we would chop the fields with hoes, you know, and crop tobacco, pull corn. I mean, all different types of kinds of things. So I have a little agricultural whatever in my memory bank. And it's such a tedious thing. You cannot grow proper crop without understanding all of these other things and at least having a knowledge and a discipline. You know what I find out? A whole heap of people that sit in prophetic churches around prophets, great speakers that speak prophetically. These folk ain't got no ears. They amen, and it's amen, and ain't bit more listening than a man in the moon. Not a bit more than dry water. The Do not listen. Listening and hearing is something that you have to purposefully do when you go to church, especially you've been going to church all your life. If you're around prophets, you're around preachers, and they're great oracles of God, and you happen to be around them for 5 and 10 years, do you know that you have to really purposefully make yourself hear them as though they are the oracle of God? Somebody coming in, just meeting them for the first time, would be more apt to receive what they're saying as the word of the Lord than the people who've been around for long. They get familiar. What did the Spirit said in the scripture? I believe the Spirit wrote this. I think it was Isaiah said, your prophecies have become like a lovely song to the people. That can happen when you you get used to hearing this prophetic word. Oh, you remember when you watched Bishop Jordan's documentary, and the one with the gray hair, she said he was saying 911, and we were just not paying Bishop too much attention. He said 911, and then when 911 happened, they went back to the prophets and listened to every little thing they said, because them people are right around prophets, or they always have that opportunity of listening to somebody who's great or experiencing somebody who's great. You can really get familiar with that thing. And the Spirit began to say in December, like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, say it's a person, it's a distraction, it's a particular person. And the patrons, because we talk open over there, some of the women began to explain, they just opened their life and their legs, they soft middle part, they opened it up for some young man. Nisa, I remember her saying that, and began to just share very openly and be very honest. And they said, this is going to be hard, Reid. This is going to be very hard. Those that call me pastor and their prophet said, this is going to be very hard for me. I said, I understand it's going to be hard, but you better get to doing what the hell you're supposed to do, because the Spirit has said that this is a deadly alliance. Everybody type deadly alliance, because somebody's going to come through here and read this, and this thing is going to hit. Yes, Erica, great word, desensitize. This thing is going to hit somebody in their face, and they're going to have to make a call before that ball drop, that apple drop, wherever you're going to be on New Year's. You're going to have to get this thing in order. Let me tell you this. And I began to go with this thing, and I rolled this thing, the whole prayer call, well, nothing but correction and rebuke. And then the Spirit began to say and remind us of some things about 2023. I want you to add 2023 together. What number do you get? Tell me what number you get. And listen to this. 2023, what number do you get? I want to see it in the chat. Must be a little delay. 7, right, correct. That 1,044 of you on in the middle of the night, that's a surprise. Collectively between Facebook and YouTube, everybody hit like right now, please. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. Even if you add it a different way, you're going to come up with 43, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So however you look at these numbers, you come to a 7. Now, what is the number whenever we're giving on the platform? There's 2 numbers, but there's a number that I always mention, 8. It's 8. That number 8 means new beginnings. Add 2024. 2024, you get 8. So there's a saying I tell patrons. Patrons know this. They probably can say it before I say it. Whenever you see a 7, the Spirit is prophesying the end of an era, an end of a cycle, and the end of a particular chapter. So year 2023 is the year of the close. $2023 is the year of the close. Can y'all type the year of the close? It's the year of the close. Let me add more to this. I'm gonna share some more. I'm not gonna share everything I shared in Patreon because you put it under scrutiny. 2023 is the year of the close. There's 7 days in a week. After that Sabbath day, or what we call Sabbath, you have Sunday. Sunday is the first day of the week, but really the 8th day or the 8th moment. And so this is the reason why on my prayer call on Sundays, the 8th day, we pray at 8 o'clock and we sow seeds in the 8s because we prophesy a new beginning at the beginning of every single week. As we begin to look at 2023, and God said that year was the year of the close, and he also says the year that it is finished and it is complete and it is over. Now that sits with me well. It is over. Year 2023. He began to also talk about year 2024 and said how that year will be the beginning of change in science and technology and AI, a shift. And I don't want to go all the way into that. The things we'll begin to see that fell out of the sky, the drones and some things with travel. I share that in Patreon because it get a little crazy. But in 2023, since that's what we're talking about here, some of you, many of you, are going to find yourself bringing toxic, outdated, outmoded ways of being, postures, your entire existence that is past and needs to be forgotten. You're going to bring all of that to a close. This is also going to be the year that the pandemic ends, as prophesied really by Prophet Jordan. But the end of the pandemic is the end of that pandemic. Because then we're going to begin to see some other things that's going to show up in the world of diseases that is going to come out of the animal kingdom. Now, I want all of you to remember. Now, you need to get in Patreon because in Patreon we can go deeper. I'm bringing Prophet Jordan on, his son, Prophet Manasseh. These are people whose prophetic ministry you can't spot. And I'm going to bring them on, and they're going to discuss and they're going to share in the month of January. They're going to be sharing concerning the year 2023. I'm also going to be bringing Prophet Lovey. He's going to be coming on the platform as well. So Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. I want to ask you a question. What is it that you're living in, sitting in, doing, or a part of that you know has been outgrown by you? Its time has expired. That group of people, that area you live in, that company you work for, and you have been committed, you've been in it, you've been giving your all, you tried over and over again. That is the thing that you are to shift out of this last day or so of December, and in the first month of the year, you are supposed to expire it. Oh my God, Erica. You said, what is the thing that you got? You said, been leading too much with your head and not your heart. You're an Aquarius, same thing here. But something happened in me when I went into my 8th moment, February 1st. I turned 44. 4 plus 4 is 8. I'm now getting dropped down into my heart like never before. And for me, it's almost where my immaturity is showing up, because I'm not used to feeling. I'm used to seeing the problem, having a point of view. I have loads of commentary on it, but I don't really feel it. Bruh. Now I feel it. And because I'm able to feel, God bless women. I mean, y'all are so advanced emotionally, because it's been a lot. This year has been a lot for me. I'm talking about personally, in my real life. And I'm like, and I'm having to find out what that feeling is and how I feel about this. Oh, this is how I really felt? I thought I felt like this goal was here, but here I was feeling another way. And so I really have been opened up and matured by spirit and by experiences in this year, 2022. And so I had to partner with God in prayer and partner with my team, because the year 2022 was all about partnership, all those twos, the duality. But going into 2023, you may be saying this in December, and you're like, it's going to take me 3 days to finish this, so I'm going to get this done before January 1st. That's okay. The energy that is on the entire year is that of the close. In fact, there's some business things that you need to disentangle yourself with, but you're going to have to wait until after the 18th of January. Everybody put January the 18th. Now, there's some things that you're going to need to bring to a close as far as contracts, business dealings, leases, several different things. But things of that nature, you're going to need to wait after January the 18th. After January the 18th, you can kill the deal, you can kill the contract, you can sell the car, you can sell the house, you can close that account, that joint account with that person you don't deal with no more. You can change your phone number, disappear after the 18th, from that old community. But you got to wait till after January the 18th. Because if you attempt to do it between now and the 18th, now go ahead and posture yourself to do it. But if you try to do it between now and the 18th, it's not going to close completely. It's going to pop up again around March and April. Are you hearing exactly what I'm saying now? Someone said 36 years of marriage in this toxic family. So you talking like that, you already know. You done sat in that thing too long. Go ahead and start planning in fact, type, I must plan my exit. If you feel like that is you in some area, type that in there. I must plan my exit from that ministry, from that church. Yeah. Someone said, I smell false prophecy. Well, then you can leave, sir. You ain't got to be here. Ain't that stressed to come here. Why is you here for? You don't need to be here. What you here for? And you look broke and poor. That let me know you ain't got no profit in your life, because profit was in your life, you look prosperous. Oh my God. Why do people even come over here on this page? Y'all want me to just read y'all? I fluctuate in and out the spirit. I can stop and cuss you out and come back to prophecy. Go to hell and sleep tight. Okay, so go ahead and plan your exit, but let this be your planning period. And I saw somebody in the chat ask me, why are you saying after January the 18th? I don't even know if I want to even say it publicly why, but just trust me. Trust me on this. I would tell the patrons specifically why, but just trust me on it. Because if you try to bring it, I love that, April Archie. That's what Leandra said, right? This is my exodus. Absolutely. Maybe we need to type that. 2023 is my exodus out of old models, outmoded, outdated ways of being and existing. Well, if you sign up for Patreon now, I think the last post I made, if you see that post, you can say, okay, I know why he said January the 18th. 2023. It is the Exodus. It's out of all of that energy from 2020, 21, 2022 is moving out of that energy. It's gonna be the close of that in 2023. Oh, this is somebody who's been following me. Where Pam says, "Trust me, he's got a reason, and he's always right." Now, see, that's the thing. Now, if I was wrong one time, I might wouldn't listen to me. Although they say, everybody can miss. I know I can miss, but I just wait till I get my tingle tangles and my spiritualizations, and then spirit tell me to, and that's when I'm taught. I'm about to give you a key. This is a huge key. So in 2020, the Spirit started talking to Patreon about the importance of building an altar. So we were on the prayer call, not this week Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, the 21st, December 21st. Would you know December the 21st was like an extremely important day as relates to speaking and creating as relates to the year 2023. But you probably did not know that. But this is why you need to be in Patreon. So the Spirit says, begin to build an altar that you will keep erected in your homes for the first half of the year. Then we're going to destroy and break that altar, and then erect another one for the last 6 months of 2023. Now, some of you Christians are listening to me, altar builder. I'm so sorry that your church and pastor did not do you proper justice. But you are supposed to be very clear when it comes to certain spiritual practice in Christianity that your Bibles is loaded with. You should have an altar in your home versus running to your church to the altar for somebody to lay hands on you and prophesy to you. Let me say it like that and make somebody mad. See, what they teach you is to come to the altar. Leave your house and come to the altar. Wrong. Ow! I'm always saying something. It's all right. I know my work. You're supposed to have your altar in your house. You need to erect and build an altar. Someone said, Larry, why do I always see 1111? You're not a patron. I know you're not, because I've answered that question. We just went over that too. Somebody said, right, you should have an altar at home. So my bishop taught us that in 2020. Now that's a blessing. You got an oracle of God. But here I am to tell you, Gary Hines, tear that altar down, and you're going to build another one for 2023. You must build an altar. And this is a new altar now. What you have done to get to where you are now, December the 30th, 2022, that is not what you're going to be doing to come to your next place of prosperity. You're going to be moving differently. Thank you, Gary. You said, okay, I got you, Larry. And if you go throughout the scriptures, whenever they came to a certain space or place or God visited them, they would build a what? An altar. Altar. But I love that, Phyllis, you spelled the Alter, because alterations happen at the altar. You are altered, Altered, at the altar. It's the place of prayer. Anyway, 2023. Let me tell y'all this here. Even after you get out of that relationship or that job or whatever it is that you're going to be prophesying and initiating the close, in the year of the close, it is finished. Now that relationship got to get out of you. See, that's the purpose of the altar. Because you can cut or dismiss yourself from something, but it still sit up in the inside of you. Listen, you can run to that altar at the church all you want to. And let me say this. There is power there at your church at the altar if your altar has been built. And I'm not talking about wooden carpet. I'm talking about spiritually built. But you need your own personal altar at your house. A place that you have designated in your house where you go to transact business vertically. That literally means that there should be a spiritual vortex in that vacuum, in that space, to where when it's uttered off your lips, it goes into the ears of God. When it's spoken out of your mouth, it goes into the atmosphere and it begins to cause change. I'm going to tell you, if you don't have no prayer life, you ain't got no power. Let me get some water. I'm going to say something else. If you ain't got no prayer life, you ain't saved. Wait a minute. If you ain't got no prayer life, you ain't saved. What you mean saved? You ain't got no power. You're not changed. You don't have any authority that is at work in your life that is able to subdue other powers, principalities. You go to church, you might call yourself a Christian, your name on somebody's rope, but you ain't got no power. You ain't saved. You got to have a prayer life. You are only as saved as your prayer life. You're only as sanctified as your prayer life. I mean, come on now. My house shall be called a house of praise and worship and bucking and shouting. No. Said my house shall be called a house of prayer. That means he is housed in prayer. What? That means his abode is in prayer. No, it's worship. No, prayer. So if you ain't got no prayer life, he's not abiding with you. It's not funny, but it's just my natural response. You know, it's nice. I'm sick of what? It ain't talking about your church and your pastor. You should have your own altar in your house. Now, how do I build an altar? I'm so glad you asked. But I can't tell you here. We started last night, Wednesday night. It was night before last. Explaining, actually we started it the 21st, December 21st. And we recount on Wednesday. There are certain things you need to have on your altar for 2023. And you know what we did? We sowed 2 seeds, because the first thing you do when you build an altar, of course, the first thing you do is sow a seed. And so I gave 2 seeds, which I always do, because we're all on different financial levels. The Spirit told me, don't have them to sow no $2,023 seed. That's what he said, have them to sow for 2024. So we sold $2,024 or $202.40. Hold on, 202. Yeah, that's what we did. So we done one of those seeds. And I'm meeting with all of those people in Patreon. And then I began to teach them how to build an altar. And it's right there in your biblication. Y'all just ain't saying this. You just ain't paying no attention. And the first thing I told them to do, and now if you're a patron, what's the first thing you do before you start physically building your altar? Let me see if there's I know there's some patrons in here. See if you remember. Let's see. I'm looking. I don't see it. I don't see it. Yep. Wash your hands. After you sow your seed, Verenda says sow your seed. Yeah. But after you sow your seed, you start physically building your altar. You wash your hands. Somebody said cleanse your hands. You cleanse your hands to build your altar. And as it relates to cleanliness, the whole time that you're working from that altar, it has to stay clean. So cleaning is part of maintaining that altar. And there are other things that you need on the altar. But I don't want to say that here. I don't want to sit here because it'd be too much scrutiny. Y'all out here is just this and dumb and crazy. I only comment when you see something that you don't like for me to say. So I'm not even gonna give you that tonight. But I want you to build your altar, because from the altar, and I'm about to stop, from that space that you have created in your house, that altar from which you pray, you're gonna get very specific instructions. Instructions are coming in 2023, more specific and precise than you have ever heard God talk to you ever. You're going to hear the voice and the direction of God in a way you have never heard it before. Let me say it one more again. I don't care if you are a comment like me, a commentator, an artist, pastor, a business owner, entrepreneur, you sing R&B, you're a dancer. Listen, you are going to hear now, if you build an altar, I told you the first thing you do is sow that seed. Second thing, you start physically building and putting the things there, wash your hands. And then there's more direction that's over there in Patreon. You are going to get direction. Models. The Spirit is going to lead and direct you on which go-see to go to, on what approach to take. You're going to give your agent a word that's going to direct them, and it's all coming off of your altar. And before you know, you booked in that. Spain, Madrid, Milan for 3-6 months. I built Larry Reid Live from a thus saith the Lord off my altar. Oh, God telling you to go out there and do commentary and talk about everything that hit the internet, particularly what happens in the church. That ain't God. I don't give up. Excuse me. I don't care what you saying. I heard from God. And I'm like, well, I guess God did tell them. Lord, look how God done blessed them. That's why you got to get, that's how come you can't be running from your house to the church to go to the altar to get direction. Build your altar in your own house for 2023 so you know what to close and get the direction when what is finished. and what is going to begin in 2024. You got to have your own. I want everybody to type, I gotta build my altar. But you gotta build it right. So I am new to Patreon, but I don't know where to start watching videos. Once you sign up for Patreon, it's on your main feed, baby. If you have a problem with it, in Patreon, you can post up on there, somebody see it and they give you directions. Or you can email Erica at thembnnetwork.org and she'll help you. You got to build it. Now, 2023 is not the year to go aimlessly into living out of the mouth of this prophet, that prophet, your pastor, your auntie, and your grandma. You're going to get direction for yourself if your hind part will build the altar. You're going to get the direction and you are going to prosper as a result. The altar is going to pull prosperity into your house. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Go to the move. Now, you only say that when you real country. The altar is going to pull prosperity into your house. Your book is going to sell. You are going to outpace your competitors. The approval, your altar bringing it in. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? You're going to get specific directions and strategies that's going to cause you to be head and shoulders above your competition. Build that altar and lay on it. It's only coming from the altar. Your own personal altar. Patreon/Larry Live. Get over there and listen to Wednesday night. You might not do it tonight, but first fresh. Now that's real country. Fresh in the morning. Go and listen to Wednesday night and build your altar. I'm telling you that your altar is going to attract prosperity into your house. I know you've been feeling like God skipped over your house. He was looking for your altar. Build the altar. And the stratagem is coming to your house by way of your altar. Lord, I need to cut my hair, my gray spot, sure. When you wake up in the morning, for the next 7 mornings, go and listen to that Wednesday night. Don't listen to it just once. Listen to that Wednesday night over and over. This past Wednesday, the 28th and the 21st, listen to it, and 21st, and listen over until you get it in you really well. Christopher Benaiah Taylor, altar spelled Altar, but I love the Alter because you are altered on the altar. I like that. Yeah. All right. I think I shared enough here. I think I shared what is receivable, but it goes deeper over there in Patreon. Go listen to this Wednesday. And I tell you the things to do to build your altar. You sow your seed, your 2024 seed, whether it's the $202.40 or the $2,024. Those people are going to be with me. The 2024. I'm meeting with them on January the 1st, right after the prayer call. But all the instructions is in Patreon, patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. And when you listen to that, listen slowly. And there are other people on the panel with me. Did one of my prophetic friends call in? I think they called in on the 21st. Yeah. So listen to the 28th and the 21st. They're YouTube links, unlisted. Do not share them publicly. If I if my tech on the back end see you shared it to somebody in the Patreon, you're going to magically get kicked right on out. Yeah, you'll be gone. Disappearance. All right. I'm complete. I'll see you in Patreon. Go over there and listen to it. And remember what 2023 is about. There'll be other prophets and other people that be saying different things. Just add that to it. But remember what I told you. All right. I love you. Wall love. That's the way I say, Bye.